The biggest political conference here since the pandemic brought together members of parliament and international supporters of Israel. It's called the Israel Allies Foundation, or IAF.
In 2004, the Knesset Christian Allies Caucus was started in the Israeli parliament. And then in 2006, Congress in Washington, D.C. decided to start our first sister caucus, the Congressional Israel Allies Caucus. Well, all these sister caucuses get it started all over the world in different countries. So we created the Israel Allies Foundation so we could coordinate the activities of our sister caucuses around the world.
The organization now consists of 50 caucuses made up of 1,200 international lawmakers. Weinstein calls it faith-based diplomacy in action.
When people take their biblical support and turn it into real political action is the most important weapon that we have in our diplomatic arsenal today. It's the reason that we have embassies in Jerusalem. It's the reason we have legislation against anti-Semitism and the BDS. We're seeing a sea change in how countries view Israel because of faith-based diplomacy.
Natan Sharansky told the group why it's more important than ever to stand with Israel.
These days, when unfortunately anti-Semitism is rising, and this old hatred becomes new and modern hatred. These days, to see so many parliamentarians from all over the world who come specially to demonstrate their solidarity and to take obligation, they will continue fighting anti-Semitism in their own countries. That's very important.
Crucial, because unfortunately the trend is that around the parliament the representation has been anti-Israel. And so to have here a group of people who are proudly pro-Israel in these parliaments is strategic for Israel and is crucial for Israel, and we're very grateful.
Republican Congressman Doug Lamborn co-chairs the U.S. arm.
It's congressmen and women who want to support Israel. We believe that the U.S. and Israel have a strong relationship, and we want that relationship to stay strong and get even stronger.
The IAF forms a global network of like-minded legislators.
We have in this network a very good exchange of views, exchange of experiences that we can use in our domestic contexts and in the different countries, in the different parliaments. So it's a practical way of cooperate, but it's also very inspiring.
So that network and that feeling of all these legislators working together on behalf of standing with Israel is what really is the secret sauce in faith-based diplomacy.
Many lawmakers see their involvement through a spiritual lens.
We know that the motivation of most of the lawmakers are based on the firm foundations, mainly the biblical foundations.
It's been a really wonderful time meeting all these different politicians around the world and other actors and other ministry leaders who are supporting the same cause. So there's a shared vision, and this is not about self, this is about the kingdom of God. So it's not just about self, it's all about the kingdom of God, and we think this is an awesome moment.
The group also signed a declaration to fight anti-Semitism and support Israel's sovereign right to keep Jerusalem as its undivided capital. Broadcaster Larry Hutch, designated as one of Israel's top Christian allies, sees IAF as a sign of the times.
I think with what we're seeing between Jews and Gentiles and what we're seeing in Bible prophecy and events of the world, I think we're closer to the coming of the Messiah than we even realize. And that's why it's so important to do whatever we can right now to stand up with each other, to stand up for the nation of Israel, to stand up against anti-Semitism. And one of the great words of God is Genesis 12. We all know this. I will bless those who bless Israel. Standing with Israel is the foundation of all the blessings that God is going to bring in these last days.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.